I had a request from some newer viewers here who've joined us rather recently to discuss 1430. So what I sent this week is slide set 3 of a whole series I did a couple of years ago on bidding slams, particularly major suit slams. So I pulled out the part that has to do with 1430. I'll be honest with you and say I no longer teach regular Blackwood. There are some times when you might want to use regular Blackwood, as I'm going to discuss at the end of this slide set. But for most people at the level where we play, 1430 is what you'll be using 99% of the time. So that's what we're going to discuss this morning. And if you have any questions, feel free to put your hand up, or Rick will stop me if we need to do that. So slam dunk on the slams here. Many of you may not know, but there are a number of enhancements that have been made to the Blackwood Convention. Easley Blackwood first developed the convention quite a number of years back. And for those of you who don't know, Easley Blackwood was at one time in charge of the ACBL when it was on the brink of financial ruin. And he pulled it out. He literally saved the organization. So in addition to being quite a thoughtful and intelligent bridge player and imaginative and being able to come up with the Blackwood Convention, he was something of a skilled businessman as well. He lived to be well into his 90s and was quite the raconteur when he spoke around at various meetings. So I wish that I had the opportunity to either see him or be around when he was with us. But he was quite a character and is an interesting person to read about if you're ever interested in doing that. Most all of you are familiar with Roman key card, and there are two versions of, well, I should say there's one version of Roman key card, and that's 3014. 1430 has been adapted more recently as well because of the ease in using the Queen Ask feature of Roman key card Blackwood. There's also exclusion Blackwood, which is also known as void wood, minor wood, red wood, kickback, baby Blackwood, all kinds of variations that clever people have thought of. But Roman key card has become far and away the most popular of all of these. So it's used when the partnership has agreed a trump suit. Notice that when you bid no trump, when no trump has been opened, for no trump is not Blackwood. If you really need to know the number of aces that your partner has when he's opened no trump, because you can't figure out how high to go from simple math, I think most all of you have the copies of the no trump bidding ladders that I put together for both opener and responder. No trump slam bidding is largely a matter of math. It's really not necessary to use an ace asking bid to get to your slams in general. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't use it if you want to, but the more bidding you do, the more information you give to the opponents. So when the opening strain has been no trump, no suit involved, and there has been no suit agreement, Texas transfers set the trump suit. So 4 no trump, 1 no trump, 4 diamonds, 4 hearts. 4 no trump is key card for hearts because Texas transfers set the trump suit. The only way to set the trump suit when you use the Stamen auction is by bidding the other major suit at the 3 level. Notice that just bidding Stamen and having the opener bid a major suit doesn't set that suit as the trump suit. There's been no agreement yet. So 4 no trump following a statement inquiry is not Blackwood. The responder has to agree to set that suit as trumps by bidding the other major at the 3 level, which indicates slam interest. If he had only interest in a partial, he just passed the part score. If he had only an invitational hand, he might raise to the 3 level. If he had only game interest, he'd bid the game. Bidding the other major suit following a statement inquiry to which the opener bid a major suit is the only way you have to set the trumps. That's confusing to a lot of people, and I don't want you to think that because you have bid a suit here following a statement inquiry that you have set the trump suit. You have not. Roman key card is only used when the pair has agreed on a trump suit and has slam interest. Has slam interest. In other words, you're pretty sure that the values are there to go beyond game. Now, one big difference. Regular Blackwood asks for aces. Roman key card or 1430 asks for key cards. Unlike aces, there are 5 key cards when you're bidding either form of key card Blackwood. It's the 4 aces and the king of the agreed upon trump suit. This is why you don't use Roman key card when no trump is the strain, because you have not agreed a trump suit. How are you going to respond to a 4 no trump inquiry if you don't know what the trump suit is? You can't show a king or a queen. So, really important that you've established a trump suit here, because you're going to tell your partner whether or not you have the trump king or the possibility that you have the trump king, because it is counted among the key cards. There are 2 responses to the 4 no trump inquiry that either deny or confirm holding the queen. So here we have another honor in the trump suit. Key card is used when a suit has been agreed. These numbers that follow Roman key card in the name refer to the step responses that the partner of the person who's doing the asking uses. Now, if you play 1430, and that's what I play, and most everyone I know plays, then a response of 5 clubs shows 1 or 4 key cards. It's the opposite if you play 3014 or 0314. The only 2 bids that are switched are the meanings of 5 clubs and 5 diamonds. The most common response to a Roman key card inquiry is the response showing 1 key card, because generally the stronger hand is asking. Not always, but generally. So the advantage in using 1430 is that, especially when a major suit is the trump suit, it leaves the 5 diamond bid available for the queen ask. The queen ask is just the next unbid suit. And you don't ever want to be in a slam off a key card and the queen of trumps if you can avoid it. So using 1430 gives you the maximum amount of space. Your partner shows you enough key cards that you know you're off a key card and you don't have the queen of trumps, and obviously the 5 club or 5 diamond responses do not give you any information about it. Imagine if you've agreed hearts as trumps and you play 3014 and your partner wants to show you 1 key card. He has to bid 5 diamonds. Well, the queen ask is the bid at the 5 level of the next unbid suit. So you have to go all the way to 5 spades to be able to ask about the queen. Well, now you're committed to the 6th level. So you can see the problem that this creates. So 1 or 4 key cards with 5 clubs. 5 diamonds is 0 or 3 key cards. Where does 1430 come from? That's the score you earn when you bid and make a vulnerable slam in a major suit. that makes it easy to remember what these steps stand for. The 5 heart response is exactly the same as it is in regular Blackwood. I have 2 key cards, partner, and I do not hold the Queen of Trumps. 5 spades says I have 2 key cards, but I do hold the Queen of Trumps. I love a 5 spade response from my partner when I did 4 no trump. It answers questions for me that I like to have answered. So you have 2 options here. And that obviously begs a question. Which one should I play? Well, I think I've made it pretty clear what I prefer. But 3014 was the first version of a Roman key card that was introduced. And a lot of people learned 3014 and continue to play it. And a lot of them will admit that 1430 is superior. But they like to use what they know. And just to show you how much more popular 1430 is than anything else, I have a book by Marty Bergen, and he asked 60 of the top pairs in the world which variant of Blackwood they like to use. Well, 8 of them says, oh, we like plain old Blackwood. We've used it for years, does us just fine. We use that. 8 pairs said they use 3014, and the remaining 44 out of 60 said we use 1430. Well, I think that's a pretty solid endorsement of 1430. I mean, it's all I need to know. These people all know more about the game than I do, and if they say 1430 is what they use, I'm going with it. And I went into a quote from Eddie Cantor, who wrote a 230-page book or something close to that, just on Roman key card. And he gives a nice explanation of why 1430 is superior. If you're interested in reading, you guys can all read this as well as I can. So the thing that comes about, though, sometimes, even when you use this system, is you need to remember a couple of things. 5 no trump still asks for kings, but it is not answered in the usual way that a normal Blackwood inquiry is, because we already counted the King of Trumps. So there are only 3 kings involved here when you do that. And there are 2 different ways to show kings when you're playing Roman key card. You can play either the number of kings that you hold, just like regular Blackwood, or you can play, I'll bid my cheapest specific king. The cheapest one I hold, partner. And you'd be surprised how helpful this is. When I first learned about this, I thought, well, gee, I'd rather know how many. No, sometimes I really need to know whether you have a specific king. And it makes it really, really helpful to use that variant, but it is totally up to the pair. So the thing that happens with this bid, that happens in so many other situations in bridge today, is people like to interfere in Blackwood inquiries. Often they double, because the double of an artificial bid and a response to a key card inquiry is an artificial bid, asks for the lead of that suit. And this is true anywhere in the auction, whether it's a Jacobi transfer sequence, anything like that. If the bid is artificial, 2 club statement, doubled by one of the opponents following a 2 club statement bid, ask for the lead of a club, partner, if you're on lead. And this is always a problem. People have to devise ways of coping with interference. It is less of a problem with Blackwood than it is with some of the others, because so much of the time the interference is a double. That takes up no bidding space. But sometimes you have somebody who is a lot like the late Jack Kelo used to be. Not afraid to interfere on any level. If he thinks that partnerships don't have agreements on what to do with interference, he is just as likely to stick his toe in the water. And it's unbelievably frustrating if you've ever had an experience like that, because maybe this is the first time that you played with this partner and you just didn't get around to discussing that, because quite frankly, it very seldom comes up. So that's not one of the things you talked about before you sat down to play. It can be logical to think that you might use your regular responses, but that's not recommended. I've shown you here 2 or 3 things that you can use if an opponent doubles here. Ropey, meaning redouble, 0, pass 1 key card, can be used frequently, particularly when people double asking for the lead. Maybe they're void in the suit. Maybe they have ace king and they think, well, gee, if they end up in slam, I'd sure like to have my partner lead this because I've got the ace and the king. Well, competent opponents don't often bid a slam off two cashing cards. This is why you don't use Blackwood when you have a worthless doubleton in your hand. It's really embarrassing to end up in slam and have the opponents take the first 2 tricks on you because you used Blackwood inappropriately. Ask me how I know that. I decided to ignore that rule one day, and I learned why you don't do it. I knew better, but I did it anyway. Aren't we all like that from time to time? I don't do it anymore because my partner wasn't very happy, obviously. We were down before we ever got the lead. But if an opponent doubles a response for a lead, using ropey takes up very little bidding space. So if the answer means that we need to stop at a lower level, you have the ability to do that. So redouble means 0, 3, or 5 key cards. 5 would be very uncommon, obviously, unless maybe you open 2 clubs and your partner has decided that slam is in the offing. It would be very unusual to have all 5 key cards and not do the asking yourself. But it's an odd number. In other words, redouble says 0. Pass says 1 or 4. This is using the standard 1430 responses. And then 5 clubs is 2 key cards without the queen, and 5 diamonds is 2 key cards with the queen. And this is probably easier to remember than some of the other schemes that are used with regular Blackwood. This is what my partners and I use is a set of step responses: redouble, pass, next suit up is 2 without, and the next suit up after that is 2 with. So you can still respond, but you can keep your responses at a lower level.
So, Susan,
yes.
Question from the chat. So what does it mean when the opponent's double 4 no trump?
That is a really good question. I have thought about that and thought about it and thought about it. And why would I do that? Why would I do that? And I have not come up with a good answer. Dawn, do you know one? Dawn must have gone to get more coffee. Either that or he's taking a nap. I have thought about it. Why would you double 4 no trump? I have no idea, unless you're Jack Kelo and you're trying to make trouble. Making the opponents worry about it. I
think that's just the rule of 13.
Oh, I have 13 cards in my hand, so I'm going to double. This never made a lot of sense to me at all.
Okay.
I mean, why would you double 4 no trump when you hadn't doubled anything? I suppose that maybe somebody somewhere has thought of a special meaning for it. If they have, they haven't published it, or I've not read it. So it might be if somebody ever did that, I would be turning to his partner and say, "What does that mean?" And then the usual answer I would get is no agreement or undiscussed.
Yeah. Another chat question is, are the minor suit bids the same for 1430? Does it matter if you're a major or a minor?
Well, minor suit using 4 no trump for for an ace asking or key card asking bid can get you to the 6th level before you turn around. And so you do see these responses would be the same, yes. But a lot of people like to use something like kickback or minor wood because the ace asking bids are at a lower level. Minor wood just means, say you're using an inverted minor bidding sequence here. And for those of you who are newer to the group, we had a discussion on inverted minors here a couple of months ago. But let's say that your partner opened a diamond and you had the appropriate 2 diamond response. If your partner has a slam going hand or is interested in slam, now a bid of 4 diamonds is key card for the diamond suit. And you can keep your responses low enough that you can stop in 5 diamonds if you need to. That is a special form of Blackwood that a lot of people like to use for bidding slams in a minor suit. Finding minor suit slams is a little more difficult than finding major suit slams because we are so conditioned to bid 3 no trump, even with a minor suit fit. And so you can certainly use 1430 when you want to ask for key cards, but you have to be a little more certain that slam is in the offing than you do when you're using it with a major suit, because the odds that you're going to be able to stop at the game level are not nearly as good. I'm sorry I can't be more definitive. Maybe at some point I'll present something on minor wood or kickback and some of these other things that permit you to use a lower level asking bid. I'm not being evasive intentionally, I promise. It's just that minor suit slam bidding is a different animal because the game level bids are higher. So now then, if one of your opponents overcalls, and this can happen, it may be a competitive auction and you decide you want to ask for key cards, you can certainly do that in a competitive auction. But that doesn't mean the opponents are going to respect you enough to shut up while you have your nice little exchange of information. So there's more than one way to respond when one of your opponents does that. The first one is a modified version of dopey. It normally means double is 0 aces. This was developed back in the days of regular Blackwood, and pass is 1, DOP1. It looks like dopey, DOPI. So it meant double is 0, no aces, pass is 1 ace. But when playing key card, double generally means an odd number, 0, 3, or 5, and then pass is 1 or 4. The next cheapest suit is 1 or 4. And then the second one is, 2 without the queen. And then the second step is 2 with the queen. They can be flipped if you're playing 1430 instead of 3014. These dopey and ropey are identical in nature, so it makes it easier to remember than depot, which is the other commonly used system when there's competition over a 1430 bid. Bubble just means I have an even number of key cards, and pass means I have an odd number. That's maybe easier to remember by itself But when you want to have something that works for both a double and an overcall of a suit, then maybe dopey and ropey are easier to remember. So, now here's my king asking segment. I knew it was in here somewhere. I got a little ahead of myself earlier, but a 5 no trump rebid following the 4 no trump ask says to partner, we have all of the key cards and we have the queen of trumps. There is enough power here that I'm interested in pursuing a grand slam. You never bid 5 no trump unless you're interested in pursuing the grand. That means you never do it if you're off a key card or if you're off the queen of trumps. So as I said, there are 2 ways to play it. Standard Blackwood. 6 clubs shows none. 6 diamonds shows 1. 6 hearts shows 2. 6 spades shows 3. Remember, those are all the kings we have because we counted the trump king when we counted key cards. The other way to respond to 5 no trump is to bid the specific non-trump king that you hold that gives you the cheapest response. So here's an example. I've got an example option here. This is always easier than talking in general here. Notice opener bids a spade, responder bids 3 spades. Some might bid 2 clubs or even 2 no trump. Here we have, let me see, 6, 10. Oh, this has 11 points. 1 for the doubleton with 12. That's pushing a 2 no trump response. I would respond 3 spades there myself. Opener says, oh, well, look at this. This is wonderful. I have a really fine hand, and my partner has 4-card trump support, and he has an average hand, say, worth about 11 points. I'm interested. I'm interested in slam. So 4 no trump is key card for spades. We set spades as the trump suit. Responder says, well, I happen to have 2 key cards, partner. Opener says, oh, well, I have 3 of them, and I have the trump queen. And if you have the ace of hearts, I have the king. Wonder if you have anything in diamonds or clubs for me here. If you have the right hand, we might have the grand here. So using specific kings here, the cheapest king over 5 no trump that responder can show is the king of diamonds. He does that by bidding 6 diamonds. And now, since he bid 6 diamonds, that denies the club king. I don't want to be in the grand on a finesse when I know that 6 is cold. So he stops in 6 spades, and I think you can see this is lay down. And if the king of clubs is in the right place, you make 7. I'm sometimes hard pressed to give up a vulnerable game bonus to pursue an iffy slam. I'm really reluctant to give up a slam bonus for a small slam on an iffy grand slam. That makes me really nervous. I'm not that aggressive a bidder. Yeah, I might get a top, but I've said 1,000 times before, you don't win around by getting tops and then sometimes bottoms. You do it by scoring consistently well. In other words, above average on most of your hands and trying to limit the hands that are not so hot to be in the 30 or 40% range, something like that, rather than zeros. Avoiding dead tops and dead bottoms produces good, consistent results. And that's hard to get to. It's really hard to get to. I still have days when I can't play a good, consistent game at all. And I've been playing for 10 or 11 years now. So consistency can be hard. But I'm going to bid 6 spades here. There are some among you here who would bid 7, willing to take the chance. I'm just not that player. But if you are and your partner's okay with it, go for it. You know, everybody gets to choose how aggressive they want to bid.
Susan, before you go on, there's a chat question about the Trump King ask. If I'm sorry, not the Trump King ask follow-up. If the Roman key card initiator has determined that the partnership holds all 5 key cards, should you do the King ask to inform the partner?
Not unless you have interest in the grant. Why does the one who knows goes, and you don't necessarily have to convey that information to your partner. If you know you have all 5 key cards, but you can tell from the bidding that you're not quite powerful enough to pursue the grand. I mean, and if you know about the Trump Queen, look at the distribution here in this asker's hand. This is a hand opposite a limit raise that I'm pretty sure has a small slam possibility. The only chance is that we might be off a key card. We're not off the Queen of Trumps, but notice here that we had 2 key cards shown by the responder. We have all 5 and the Queen. But if you have all 5, but you don't have the Queen, I don't understand why you need to inform your partner that you have all 5.
Okay.
How's he supposed to respond to that if not to tell you which specific king or how many kings he has? And in that case, you run the risk of, if he bids 5 spades and your trump suit is hearts, or I'm sorry, 6 spades, now you're committed to the grant. You see what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Does this make sense? I'm slam bidding. The final contract is selected by the asker. You don't tell your partner. The person who places the contract is the one who knows how many total key cards you have, and that's not information that has to be conveyed to your partner.
Thank you.
When you do that, you also inform the opponents too. Don't forget that. Okay. Let's talk about asking for the Trump Queen. There are a lot of people who use 1430 but say, oh, the Trump Queen ask is too complicated. Well, it does involve a little bit of memory work, but it makes sense if you think about it. And learning about the Trump Queen is a good piece of information to have, particularly if you're thinking seriously about going further. Or, as I said, if you know you're off a key card and you're not looking at the Queen of Trumps in your hand. So many times the opener needs a little bit more information before he places the contract, and finding out whether your partner has the Trump Queen or not may be all you need to bid that small slam. So when he gets a response of 5 clubs or 5 diamonds, he doesn't know whether partner holds the Trump Queen. So what he does is bid the cheapest non-Trump suit to ask the partner if he has it. Here's the way your partner answers. He just rebids the Trump suit at the cheapest level. I don't have the Trump Queen, partner. Sorry. You're on your own. And since you asked, I assume that you don't have it either. 5 no Trump, a bid of 5 no Trump, shows the Trump Queen. I have the Queen, but I don't have a side suit king to show you. That is a non-Trump king to show you. I have the Queen, no outside kings in my hand. You do what you think is right. Bidding any non-Trump suit shows the Queen of Trumps and the king in that suit, and you should bid your cheapest king there. If you have more than one, bid the cheaper one. Let me give you an example here. Here's a hand. Person on the left opens a spade. This hand is too good to bid any number of spades, with the exception of the fact that there are not 4 spades in the hand. He has 11 points and a nice 6-card club suit, but he only has 3-card spade support. 2 spades is wrong, 3 spades is wrong. So he bids 2 clubs. This is in the days before 2 over 1, before anybody asks me. I suppose this is supposed to promise, in 2 over 1, this is supposed to promise at least 12 high card points. I don't have a quibble with this, bidding 2 clubs in standard American at all. Now, opener has a really nice suit here, nice hand. Look at this thing. He has 19 high card points and a stiff club. I mean, this is a game-forcing hand in anybody's book. But not playing 2 over 1, you jump here. When you get a 2 over 1 response and you play 2 over 1, you don't jump to 3 diamonds here. You just bid 2 diamonds. But this is not a 2 over 1 option. So 3 diamonds by opener. Now the responder says, oh, well, I do happen to have spade support, partner. I'm just too good to have bid 3 spades initially. Well, this is of a lot of interest to the opener. He says, oh, okay, 3-card support. Excellent. I wonder what else he has. Tell me about your key cards, partner. 5 clubs. I have 1 or 4. Well, it isn't too hard for the opener to figure out that it's 1. And he says, oh, well, let's see. We're missing 2 key cards. He has 1. I don't know whether that's the king of trumps or the ace of clubs. But what I really want to know now is if he doesn't have the king of trumps and I don't have the queen and he doesn't either, it doesn't matter whether he has the ace of clubs. We may be in danger of losing 2 trump tricks here. So I need to find out about the trump queen. He does that by bidding the next cheapest non-trump suit, which is 5 diamonds. Do you have the queen, partner? 5 spades says, no, I don't. No, I don't. Sorry. Well, now opener knows we're off a key card and we're off the queen of trumps. And he passes 5 spades. If you feel like it's your lucky day and you can pick up, you can pick up the trump queen, then go for it. And then if it works, you should probably go buy a lottery ticket. But most people prefer, at least most of the books I've read by players who are much better than I am, don't like to bid small slams off a key card and the queen of trumps. And we'll stop. And a lot of that depends on the number of trumps you have. When you have only an 8-card fit missing the queen, it's a different situation from having a 9-card fit missing the queen. That extra trump makes all the difference. It pays to be more cautious when you have only an 8-card fit, particularly when you're hoping to control the club suit with your trumps. So, don't bid a slam when you're missing a key card and the trump queen when you have only an 8-card fit. How do I know that my partner only has 3 of them? Well, he didn't use Jacoby 2 no trump, first off. And secondly, this looks like a 3-card limit raise to me. To bid a new suit and then bid 3 looks like a 3-card limit raise to me, not a 4. If he had 4 cards, 4-card support and a game going hand, he'd have bid Jacoby 2 no trump. He did not. Not playing 2 over 1, you don't know really whether 2 clubs is a game forcing hand or not. That's the beauty about playing 2 over 1. You know these things. So When you have a 9-card set, it's a different matter. Here's an example. Where West opens one spade again. This looks very familiar, doesn't it? This time, though, we have an opening hand in the east or on the right. 2 no trump. Jacoby forcing raise. I have 4-card support for you, partner. 3 clubs. I have club shortness. That's alerted, as you notice. The significant amount of the value of my hand is tied up in clubs, and I don't have the ace. I'm devaluing my club holding and just bidding for spades here. Opener says, I don't care. You have an opening hand. I have a big hand. I might have opened, if I hadn't had a 5-card major, I might have opened 2 no trump with this. In fact, I would have probably. Partner says, oh, okay. Well, I have 1 key card. Okay, good deal. I wonder if it's the trump king or if it's the ace. We're off a key card, but I have only the jack. I don't want to be missing the king and the queen, but I know we have a 9-card set. That's the key. That 9th trump is golden. 5 diamonds. Partner, do you have the trump queen? 5 spades. Sorry, not today. 6 spades. Let's go for it anyway. We have a 9-card set, and I have the jack and the 10. That's a reasonably good bet that we'll be able to pick it up, simply because odds favor playing for the drop. There's nothing in this auction here. I didn't show you the passes to indicate that I should take anything other than the recommended play for the drop when you have 9 tricks here. So in this case, it pays to be a little bit of aggressive because you have the 9-card trump bet. I can't overemphasize the importance of that 9 trumps. And if you have 10 trumps between you and you don't have it, then the thing about it is, if you know there are 10 trumps, the odds of having a 3-0 trump break are under 10%. So in that case, you should bid it. 9, if you have 9 trumps, it's close. If you have the jack and the 10, you should probably go for it. With the jack only, not knowing, there's no way to ask about the trump 10, but the trump 10 can be a very important card. So if I'm looking at the jack 10, and I know we have 9 trumps, I'm probably going to bid it. But if you have 10 trumps, do it anyway. Do it anyway, whether you have the queen or not. And I want to emphasize something here too. When your partner asks you for key cards in a major suit, and you happen to be holding 5 cards in the major suit, and your partner opened the major suit, you know there's a 10-card fit. You as responder, when you know there is a 10-card fit, should tell partner, I have the queen, whether you do or not. I know that sounds funny, but with 10 trump between you, you are rarely ever going to lose a trick to the trump queen. Partner may be astonished if you respond 5 spades to the Blackwood inquiry or the key card inquiry when he's looking at the queen in his hand. This is going to look a little strange. If he stops and thinks, though, he should figure it out. He says, oh, well, my partner has 5 cards right along with me. He knows there's a 10-card fit. So he's telling me that not to worry about the trump queen. This is a general agreement that most everyone follows when you know there is a 10-card fit between the 2 hands. Just bid it. The odds are too low not to. Now, this may seem like a silly statement. Do not ask for the queen of trumps if you hold it. sometimes, and the reason for that is the queen ask will sometimes take the partnership above the 5 level of the agreed upon trump suit. For instance, you asked for key cards and your partner responded 5 diamonds and hearts as your trump suit. Oops. Now the queen ask is 5 spades. That commits us to 6 hearts. And it should promise partner that we hold all 5 key cards and that the asker is interested in the grand slam. When you go beyond 5 of the agreed upon trump suit, don't ask for the queen if you have it, or unless you're interested in the grand slam. And don't forget, bidding 5 no trump, asking for the 4 kings promises that the partnership holds all 5 key cards and the queen of trumps. And as I said here earlier, it's sometimes appropriate to tell your partner that you have the queen of trumps even when you don't. Your partner opens a spade and later bids Roman key card after spades have been agreed as the trump suit. It is correct to show the queen whether you hold it or not, because you have to have 5 spades in your hand. If you as responder have 5 spades in your hand, show the queen whether you have it or not, because the odds are so great that even if you don't have it, you're going to drop it. It's holding the queen is to a large degree irrelevant when there are 10 trumps between the 2 hands. Even if the trump suit is not what you would call super duper strong, when you have 10 of them, the odds that you're going to lose a trick to the queen, as I said, are about 9%, I believe, is the percentage of times that the outstanding trumps will break 3-0 when you hold 10 of them between. Sherry, do you have your hand up?
Yes, you probably covered this, but how do you show that you have the queen?
Well, you bid when you don't have the queen, you bid 5 of the agreed upon trump suit. That's why it's important to try to keep that queen ask at as low a level as possible. You can retreat to the 5 level of the agreed upon trump suit if you don't hold it. If you hold the queen and you don't have any side suit kings to show, you just bid 5 no trump. If you have the queen and any side suit king, you bid 6 of that suit. Now, if hearts is the trump suit, you may have to bid 5 spades to show the trump queen and the king of spades. Obviously, you're not going to jump to 6 spades if spades is a side suit. But let's say you hold the king of clubs and the king of diamonds and the queen of trumps. After partner bids his queen ask bid, you would bid 6 clubs because clubs is your cheaper king of those 2. It says, I have the queen of trumps and I also have this side suit king if you're interested. I hope that helps you. So, 4 no trump can be key card, but every now and again it can be just straight aces. Now, what we have said before is that 4 no trump is key card for the agreed upon trump suit. 4 clubs is ace asking. When no trump was the opening bid, or it was, say, 2 no trump was a rebid, and then 4 clubs is a jump. Gerber is always a jump. When three no trump is bid, 4 clubs is generally reserved as Stamen. For instance, if somebody bids 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 3 no trump, 4 clubs is not Gerber. You have to use super Gerber in that instance, and that's a bid of 5 clubs. 4 clubs is Stamen in a situation like that. 4 no trump is the quantitative slam try. When no trump has been bid and one hand is limited, in other words, generally that will be the opening bidder's hand. because you have to have agreed a trump suit for 4 no trump to be key card. And then when there is a trump suit that the partnership has agreed, then 4 no trump asks for key cards. So you have 4 different possibilities. Once in a while, a partnership may want just to know, I don't care about all this other stuff. I would just like to know about aces. That's all. Well, when sometimes you agree a trump suit through inference. Often people will say, well, how do I know which suit my partner's asking about if we bid more than one suit and my partner all of a sudden bids 4 no trump? Generally, that agrees the last bid suit as trumps. This is what's known as agreeing on the trump suit through inference. There are 2 times when you might want to do that. And that's when 2 suits have been bid and raised. That happens sometimes, right? Or when there is no room to agree trumps and ask for key cards, then 4 no trump is just straight aces. And when might that happen? Let's say one of your pesky opponents preempts in the middle of your auction. That's super annoying. At least I think so. My opponents don't think so, but I do. Or when there is room to set the trump suit, but there's not been an agreement, then 4 no trump is just straight aces. Because when you don't have trump suit agreement, how do you know whether to show the king? So here's some examples. West opens a heart, North sticks in a 4 club bid, and East bids 4 no trump. There was no room to set hearts as trumps. So the last bid suit is trumps and 4 no trump is key card for hearts. Key card for hearts. If there's no fit there, then East is going to have to double or bid another suit or something. 1 spade, 2 clubs by the overcaller, 3 clubs by East. That's a Q bid raise in support of spades, showing a limit raise or better. So now if West bids 4 no trump, 4 no trump is key card for spades because the trump suit was set. 1 spade, 3 clubs, 4 no trump. There's been room to set trumps here. For instance, 4 clubs would be yet another Q bid, and you could set spades as the trump suit there. Therefore, 4 no trump is aces only. This may be a long-running diamond suit or a long-running heart suit in the East hand. All he wants to know is, partner, how many aces do you have? I don't care about the spade, king, and queen. Now, does that mean that you have to bid it this way? No. If you and your partner want to say that 4 no trump is still key card, you can certainly do that. Knowing full well, you should bear in mind that if that's the way you agree to play, then West is going to count the king of spades as a key card. If he has the queen of spades and rebids 5 spades, showing 2 key cards with the queen of spades, I hope that's helpful information to you. But most people, or most experienced pairs rather, will say that the 4 no trump bid here is strictly straight ace asking because there was room to set the trump suit, but it was not agreed. The East did not agree spades as trumps. This can be more than a little bit confusing, I know. I've had to think about it and think about it. I review it regularly because I forget. So I admit this is not an entirely easy thing. 1 club, 1 heart, pass, 2 hearts. Hearts have been set, right? Regardless of what else gets bid, we have agreed hearts as the trump suit. So now when East bids 4 no trump, that's key card for hearts. Easy enough, right? 1 diamond, 1 heart by East, 1 spade by West, 4 no trump. Well, at this point, West's hand is unlimited. Nobody has limited his or her hand yet here. So for no trump is just Blackwood. We have no suit agreement. You and your partner might say, well, I think that my partner is agreeing spades there. Well, what if he just wants, what if he's interested in let's say 6 no trump? He has to have a way to ask for straight aces, I think. And so in this case, for most people, 4 no trump is regular Blackwood because there has been no suit agreement. Here, West opens a heart, East bids a spade in response. West rebids 1 no trump, typical auction, huh? Now 4 no trump by East cannot be key card. There's been no trump suit agreement, and the West hand is now limited. That's one way you know that 4 no trump is a quantitative slam draw. He has shown his partner 12 to 14 high card points. East says, I have enough that if you're on 14 or 13, with a little bit of extra distribution here. Well, I know you have a 5-card suit, so certainly 13 high card points with a 5-card suit. I have enough that if you're there, we should probably be in 6 no trump. But if you're on your usual lousy 11 or 12, forget it. Please pass. West limited his hand here, so 4 no trump is a quantitative slam try. 1 spade, pass, 4 no trump. There's plenty of room to set the trump suit, isn't there? Plenty of room. If East has 4-card support and an opening hand, at least he can use Jacoby 2 no trump. He can have the World's Fair in his hand and use Jacoby 2 no trump because Jacoby 2 no trump has no ceiling on it. It can have 20 or 23 or 25 points in it and still be a good bid. No trump suit has been agreed here, so this is regular Blackwood. 1 heart, 4 diamonds by Pesky North here. He says, I'm going to get in their way. I'm going to do everything I can to obstruct this bidding because I don't have a very good hand, but I have a whole string of these diamonds. East now bids 4 no trump. That is key card for hearts because there isn't room to set the trump suit. If he doesn't have heart support, he's going to have to bid another suit. That's the reason North did what he did, to try to make it really hard for the opponents to find a fit or even to get to slam. But if you and your partner have this agreement, bids like this are not a problem. You can handle it. Here's another similar but different example. Don't you love this game? 1 spade by West, 3 clubs now by North. When East bids 4 no trump, it is Blackwood because there is room to set trumps. East can bid 4 clubs, Q bidding, limit raise, or better support for partner suit. When he doesn't do that, there has been no room to set the trump suit, so it is straight aces here. Straight aces. Now then, here are the important concepts. Trumps must be set or Roman key card doesn't apply. When 2 suits have been agreed upon, the last bid suit is the Roman key card suit. For instance, 1 spade, 2 hearts, 3 hearts, 3 spades, 4 no trump is now key card for spades. When the opponents preempt the auction, taking up the space that you need to agree on a trump suit, the last bid suit is the Roman key card suit. So we're out of time. This next section is a whole other subject anyway. So I'm going to eliminate it for today. And if you guys are interested in pursuing more on slams, let me know. I have 2 other slide sets on slam bidding. and we can discuss some of the other conventions besides Jacoby 2 No Trump that make it easy to find the possibility for a slam as well. So thanks for coming this morning, everybody, and hang around for the game today. Is today a longest day game, Dawn? I think it is, isn't it? I think they're awarding something like double black points.
I'll have to look. I don't remember. I just do
I
this
believe it
calendar. I never look at it.
I believe it is. I believe this is a longest day game. If it's not, that's my error. But I believe it is. I think today is the last day for the longest day games online. So you have a chance to get some big point awards. They're all black, but hey, they all count, right? Mm-hmm. Thanks, Rick,
Susan.
for your help, and Dawn, you too. And we'll see you guys next week.
Hey,
Yes,
Susan.
it is longest day, double black.
Yeah, I thought so.
Wow. Susan,
Yes.
Craig asked in the chat whether when the responder has 0 or 1 key card and Queen of Trump, do they still respond 5 spades?
No, you have to have 2 key cards and a Queen of Trumps to bid 5 spades. When you have only 1 key card and you play 1430, your response is 5 clubs. Then if partner wants to know about the Trump Queen, he has to ask you. Mm-hmm.
Hi, this is Susan. Thanks for watching this video today. Most of these videos come from our free bridge lessons that we present on Zoom every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Central Time. If you'd like to join us for those lessons, you can email us at the address shown below and we'll send you the link. If you can't attend the lessons, then feel free to subscribe to our channel and you'll be notified when there is a new one added. Again, thanks for stopping by and we hope to see you soon.